Okay, we are going to have a simple lab with pfSense. Okay, and from one side we have wide area network. Okay, and internet. Okay, internet connectivity. And from another side we have local area network. I'm going to have just one virtual machine, another virtual machine, Ubuntu operating system as a client, okay, in a local area network. So we are going to configure first of all DHCP service. So pfSense will be DHCP server to offer IP addresses in the range of local area network 192.168.10/24 to offer IP address and gateway, and obviously we should configure NAT configuration, have NAT configuration on pfSense because we have internet connectivity, and with the configuration from local area network obviously we can have internet connectivity, and we will see how to configure NATs and the configurations related to that. So let me show you the configuration first of all. Okay, and pfSense, you know that from here the interfaces, we can check all interfaces assignments, and you will see wide area network and local area network, and by default the first virtual network that we have EM0, and the next one, the second one, EM1. You can obviously change it, but you should know that you may lose the connectivity between your browser and pfSense. Obviously you should know that you are going to change any configuration for wide area network and local area network and network ports. From here you should consider that to have access, okay, or know what are you exactly going to do. But mostly if you just configure the wide area network and local area network from here, you don't need to change anything, just maybe the IP address. If you're going to change DHCP to static IP address from here to get, instead of getting IP address, to have a static IP address on DHCP for wide area network, and for obviously for local area network we have to configure IP address, IPv4 address here, okay, as you can see here. So we know that's and another important thing from services, okay, we have a couple of options, but the important one first of all, DHCP server configuration. And as you can see here, we can enable DHCP server and a local area network interface, as you can see here, and deny unknown clients. Okay, from here we have a couple of options, as you can see here, and the subnet that you have, primary address pool that we have here, okay, address pool range from by default 10 to 45. You can change it for any reason. If you're going to change it, for instance, like this, okay, you can change it, and or add another pool from here. And DNS configuration, by default we have the IP address, pfSense IP address as DNS server here, and the gateway IP address, as you can see here, by default. But obviously you have you can change it from here to another IP address if you're going to have another default gateway in your network, okay. And default, you know that lease time for DHCP, okay, you can change it here, maximum lease time and like that, okay, and just save the configuration and apply it. Right now we have a DHCP server up and running, okay, and let me show you how it works. Okay, Ubuntu operating system, Ubuntu 20 desktop, as you can see here. This virtual machine, as you can see here from the settings, first of all I'm going to show you, imagine that we are going to have local area network, and same network that I have, VMNet1, as you can see here, same network adapter configuration, okay, and pfSense from here, if you check it, you will see that for local area network and second interface that we have, network interface that we have, same configuration, VMnet1 like this. Okay, so important if you're going to check anything in a virtualized environment. Obviously you should have layer 2 connectivity like this. Okay, an Ubuntu operating system right now, from here, you know, that's the connectivity settings for interface that we have. I'm going to see the configuration. Okay, and from here, settings. Okay, and IPv4, we can obviously have automatic configuration for this DHCP, and from here automatic to, okay, or remove anything that we have here and apply it. Okay, and if you check it, you will see that from this local area network, we get IP address first, the first IP address, as you can see here, and we can obviously we can, if I disconnect and connect again, okay, we can check the IP address from here. We should wait for that, and you can see that the IP address that we get, because we started from 101, okay, you can see that we get IP address, default route, okay, and DNS from here. So DHCP works, okay, and it's not too complex, it's so simple. Okay, from here IPADDR, and I'm going to check the IP address and routing on this Ubuntu operating system. If you have Windows, any type of Mac OS, any type of operating system, obviously DHCP works and it is compatible. And I'm going to show you the configuration from here. By default, we on pfSense, okay, we have NAT configuration by default. I'm going to show you. First of all, if you check the internet connectivity from here, you will see that we have internet connectivity, okay, and I'm going to check the internet connectivity from here. Okay, as you can see here, internet connectivity without any problem. Because by default, pfSense, we have NAT configuration. I'm going to show you. And from here, firewall, the menu, as you can see here, firewall, NAT configuration. And from here, we have no configuration for port forwarding. Obviously, we can have port forwarding to publish the services on the internet and like that. But first of all, outbound configuration, as you can see here, automatic outbound NAT configuration we have by default. Okay, and if you change it to manual configuration and save it and apply it from here, you will see the list like this. And by default, we have some configuration, as you can see here, okay, for ISA KMP IPsec, because one of the important thing that's maybe we have to configure is IP security and IPsec tunnel, okay, between two branch offices, headquarters to branch office and like that. But in this scenario, we are not going to configure any type of IPsec and that complex type of configuration. And by default, as you can see here, we have the configuration for the local area network. Okay, exactly here. If I just change the configuration, you can see that the interface, okay, we have the configuration, an interface, a wide area network. This is the interface that this interface is connected to the internet, and we can just change the configuration, maybe IPv4, IPv6 only, but in this case both protocol supports both protocols that we have, and any protocol. Okay, from the source, as you can see here, the network, okay, the subnets, as you can see, local area network. If you are going to change the local area network to another range of IP address, okay, obviously in a real network, you will have different types of networks, okay. You can change it from here. It's important, first of all, okay, from pfSense, let me show you. First of all, from here, LAN interface, you should change the IP address to another type of IP address, okay. And another important thing, if you're using DHCP server, okay, from here you should change it to, okay, it's very important to change, for instance, DNS server, gateway, and like that if you have another type of IP addresses. But What is important here right now related to NAT and firewall is that we have this range, okay, 192.168.1.0, okay, the prefix as you can see here. And for all IP addresses that we have to any destination, we are going to have NAT configuration, translation, and wide area network, okay. And by default we get IP address from DHCP, and we have, if we have private or public IP address, which is with that type of address we have internet connectivity, so we can configure it from here, WAN address, and just save it, okay, like this, and apply it, and you will see from here, okay. You can add another, imagine that you're going to have another range, okay, from the source. You can change the network, okay, local area network from here, from here network, and you're going to have another range, okay, like this. So obviously we can have the configuration for that and save it, okay, save it and apply it, and you will see we have another range here for NAT and translation. By default we have it, okay. If you delete, for any reason, if you delete this configuration from here, okay, let me apply it. From here, let me see that if I have connectivity or not, and as you can see here, and if I just trace it for troubleshooting, if I trace it, you will see that the first hop is pfSense, as you can see here, 192.168.1.1, but because we have no NAT configuration, obviously we have no internet connectivity, and obviously we have no internet connectivity, okay, from here. But maybe you ask me why it can resolve google.com or yahoo.com and like that, because of with the configuration we have DNS configuration, okay, you know that from here, settings, okay, let me show you again. And from here, you know that we have DNS, the IP address of pfSense from here, and because we have no internet connectivity, but we send a request to pfSense and then get the response, so we can just resolve anything, okay, from here. But we have no internet connectivity. For internet connectivity, obviously you should configure the NAT. Okay, imagine that for all local area networks, you're going to deny internet traffic, and just on this Ubuntu with this IP address 101, I'm going to configure NAT. So first of all, from here, NAT configuration, you can add it, and protocol any, and source from here 192.168.1.101, and the prefix, you know that 32, okay, just this host to any destination, and translate WAN interface that we have, and save the configuration and apply. Okay, and from here, if you check internet connectivity, you will see that we have NAT configuration, and there's no problem with that, and you can trace it, and you will see that we have internet connectivity like this. So it's so simple to configure DHCP and NAT configuration. Okay, another important thing, except NAT, we have firewall configuration and roles, as you can see here. And for different interfaces, wide area network and local area network, we have the configuration, as you can see here, by default. And for local area network, as you can see here, for all IPv4 and v6 local area network subnets, as you can see here, from the source to destination, any source to any destination, we have the configuration to allow traffic by default, okay. And if you just disable it like this, disable the configuration for all IPv4 and v6 and apply it, we will see what happens. But what is very important here is that we have the configuration too for the management interface that we have on this pfSense, okay. And we are not going to change anything here. It's important because we may lose the connectivity with pfSense, okay. But I disabled all rules that we have for local area network, and let's see what happens. When you have traffic from Ubuntu operating system, the client that we have, okay, With the firewall configuration, we have just no configuration. It means that deny all traffic. So when we have traffic here, even if we have NAT configuration for this network, okay, it cannot have connectivity. This Ubuntu operating system cannot have connectivity with the internet, okay, because we, by default, we have we denied the traffic. So let's see. Okay, here I'm going to ping again internet, and you will see that we have no internet connectivity, but we have connectivity with the gateway. So you can see that we have no connectivity with the gateway too. Okay, if you troubleshoot, if you're going to check the gateway is responsible or not, you will see there are two. You may have two type of problem here. First of all, the pfSense. Okay, right now we have no connectivity with pfSense. Maybe the pfSense is not responsible, or we should check the IP address. Another reason is that we have the firewall configuration to deny the traffic. Okay, so let's change the configuration again. From here, if you're going to add any configuration, just add it from here, action pass, and from on this local area network we are going to have the configuration, address family, IPv4, and any type of traffic and protocol. Okay, from here, source, network, or just one IP address from here. Okay, address 192.168.1.101. okay, and destination any. You can save it from here and apply it. Let's see, and you can see that right now we have connectivity with gateway with this IP address. So there's no problem with pfSense, okay, just with the firewall configuration. And now let's check the internet too, and because we have destination as anywhere and all IP addresses IPv4, we have internet connectivity too. So with firewall, you can by default you have no traffic, and you can deny all traffic, and if you add rules and configurations, you can configure the IP addresses, network range IP address in your local area network, or specific IP address. So you can have different configurations in local area network for any reason. If you have, imagine that you have a server and client 1, server 1 and client 1. You're going to have internet connectivity for client 1. You can, for in firewall, you can have the configuration for this IP address to allow traffic. Okay, and for the server, if you're not going to have connectivity from the internet or in another path from server to internet and like that, okay, you can deny the traffic for that. But by default we have deny rule, except we have the configuration, okay, for that specific IP address. So you can deny the traffic for that. So client number 1 and server can communicate same network without any problem, but we have no connectivity from server to the internet, okay, and just client 1 has internet connectivity. So as you can see here, firewall configuration rules, and so simple to configure from here, local area network or wide area network.